afternoon, everyone. It is with great pleasure to be here today to recognize Miss Lindsay Smith as our 2021-2022 Educator of the Year. I would like to welcome our TC staff, administration, and distinguished guests. We are honored to have Board of Education member, Mrs. Storr, here with us today. Dr. Rapisi, our superintendent. Mrs. Scully, our assistant superintendent. Mr. Zucchi, our director of curriculum. And Mr. Rizzo, our business administrator. We also have many of Lindsay's family and friends joining us as well. Please welcome her mother, Cheryl Link. Sisters, Katie and Elizabeth Smith. Her nephew, Mckenzie Smith. And Uncle Ray Link. Two of Lindsay's closest friends are also joining us, Brian O'Shaughnessy and Kelly DeLisi. I'd like to thank our Board of Education, District Administration, Building Administration, and all staff members and community sponsors for their continued support in making this event possible. I've had the opportunity of getting to know Lindsay over the last several years as my role as supervisor and now vice principal. Lindsay and I both started our positions in the district 10 years ago. I didn't know Lindsay that well when I was a supervisor, but I would see her everywhere, in and out of the building. More recently, as my role of vice principal, I've had the opportunity to witness what a fantastic educator Lindsay truly is. She is committed to her students and the school community as a whole. She has the drive to make a difference in and out of the classroom. Whether it's working in the Lit Cafe after school, planning and facilitating events for the class of 2024, Interact, or Miss TC, Lindsay is a true leader for all. If that isn't enough, Lindsay still finds time to support other clubs and activities and athletic programs by coming to events or working as security or ticket taker. She's everywhere. Lindsay, you made an impact on so many people here at TC throughout the years. Your dedication to your students and our staff does not go unnoticed, and thank you. Lindsay, I am happy to be here today to recognize you as Timber Creek's Educator of the Year. Congratulations. At this time, I'd like to introduce Mr. Mark DeCipio, our Master of Ceremonies.
All right, thank you guys all for coming out, obviously, for the one and only Lindsay Smith. Before I get into any speech or anything, I do have a quick video. Lindsay's father does live in Florida, so he decided to send a video instead, just saying a little congratulations for you. So I'll play that real quick for you.
Thanks, Mark.
Hi, Lynn. Remember this picture? Beginning of the month? You've come a long way. Congratulations on being Educator of the Year at Timber Creek High School. Sorry we couldn't be there. We really wish we could. Love you. Miss you. Congratulations.
Before I go any further, I'd say, Bob, Pam, is there anything else you guys wanted to say before I moved on? All right, so again, thank you guys all for coming. I do have a few words I want to share about Lindsay real quick. So, just to introduce myself, obviously, my name is Mark Scipio, but if you don't know who I am the guy who's been standing next to Lindsay for the past 6 years. It really does seem fitting for me to come and say a few words about Lindsay, because unfortunately, even though she's worthy, she won't be the best man at my wedding, and I have a feeling I won't be the maid of honor at hers. So this is one of the only speeches I'll ever make on her behalf. And I will say it was tough to write this speech, and that's not just because Lindsay wasn't helping me, but it's because I had to resist the urge to include every single inside joke we have with one another. So instead, I just want to give you all a little sneak peek on what it means to work with, be friends with, and considering the sheer amount of time we spend at A205 together, what it means to live with Lindsay Smith. So I know Lindsay is incredibly grateful and honored to be named the Educator of the Year, and it is truly something out of her wildest dreams, but I also know you are absolutely hating every second of this. So, just to keep you entertained, I have hidden 10 Taylor Swift references in the speech for you to find. I did just do one. I hope you caught that one. Enjoy the rest of them, we'll see. So, a little bit more about Lindsay Smith. So I want to at least start by telling you guys some of her nicknames that she's acquired since I've been here. Right off the bat, we have Miss Smith. We also have Smitherdoodle, Smith and Wesson, I don't know, DeSmithio, that's our thing, Smitty, Smithsonian, Auntie Smug, Miss S, Schmiddle, and then my go-to, Schmitty. And if for some reason you don't know her from one of those names, then you may know her from, and be ready, this list is a little bit longer than her nickname list. You may know her from her involvement with Miss TC, her time working Twilight, her time supervising the Interact Club, advising the class of 2024, tutoring at the Lit Cafe, her brief stint as assistant athletic director, or being the early morning supervisor, or working the ticket booth at games. And I'm sure I'm missing some, but I think you might get the point. When it comes to an all-around educator, Lindsay truly is the perfect example. So who is Lindsay? Well, fortunately for me, it is someone that I know all too well. And once you get past her incredible love for Taylor Swift, her weird obsession with Figment from Disney, and her impressive Netflix resume, you will find the absolute kindest person you have ever met. But with a touch of her Pennsauken roots here and there. You will find someone who is always willing to lend a hand and make your life easier. Her time and involvement at Timber Creek are only a testament to her strong will and motivated character. Furthermore, as you may have already been able to tell, you will find someone who has the absolute inability to say the word no when it comes to her commitment to this school. Lindsay is someone who listens, gives advice, and wants to improve the lives of everyone around her. As a teacher, I've been absolutely honored and blessed to share the battlefield classroom with Lindsay for the past 6 years. Each of those years, I've observed Lindsay create bonds with all of her students, bonds which truly last. If you have ever walked by A205 at any point in the day, you will find a horde of students trying to share their love stories, their cruel summers, or simply their joys and woes of the school year with Lindsay. And once you enter A205, you find a true wonderland. It is a classroom that is filled with learning, laughter, and motivation. Never any yelling. All of this is credit to the absolute cornerstone of that classroom, Lindsay Smith. So as I come to a close with my few words here, that's right, Lindsay, you're almost out of the woods. I just want to touch on what Lindsay has meant to me during my teaching career in life. And it actually might be easier to tell you guys all the things I wouldn't have been able to do without Lindsay. I never would have signed in any day this year. I would have never received praise on my observations from my beautiful classroom. I would have never known how to talk to a bunch of rowdy freshmen, and I would have forgotten about every single faculty meeting, including this one. And lastly, I would have never loved teaching like how I do today. I'm beyond thankful to have the honor of walking into this school every day with the person that you all get to call the Educator of the Year, but for me, I will forever and always get to call my best friend. So Schmitty, if you were counting the references, you should be at 7. And I did say there would be 10, so just shake it off. Enjoy this day. And I want you to celebrate like you're 22. And I really hope today is a fairy tale. So thank you all again. Lindsay Smith, great. So at this time, I do just want to introduce our principal, Kelly Mckenzie.
Good afternoon, Charter family. Come on, good afternoon, Charter family. All right, y'all can do better than that. Okay. Gratitude is the best attitude, and this week especially, I am excited to commemorate the faculty and staff at Timber Creek for their instructional efforts and their commitments beyond the classroom. In my professional career, I've worked in several schools, and coming to work here with you is the shiznit. That is right, the shiznit is the highest level of amazing. I truly meant it in my newsletter when I said I work with some of the best professionals on the planet. Charter family, thank you for joining us for the Educator of the Year ceremony. An attendance sheet for today is located on Google Classroom, check it out. Before we begin, I'd like to take the opportunity to thank Jen Brown and Nancy Lynch for organizing this celebration for our recipients this year. Let's give them a round of applause. These gals truly are a dream team. I'd also like to acknowledge our Educator of the Year selection committee for their time, input, and enthusiasm. If they could stand as their names are referenced, please join me in thanking Carrie DePietro, Lynn Cerisi, Jen Stewart, Michelle Hengel, Jen Brown, Jordana Simmons, and Lisa Ardron. I'd also like to acknowledge the years of service that Chuck Newsom, Matt Dookie, and Lynn Cerisi have provided to the district and the children and families who reside in it. Can we please get charged up and provide a round of applause to these retirees? That's right, Matt Dookie's clapping for himself. That's amazing. Okay, to know where you're headed, it's important to honor where you've been. At this time, I'd like to ask all of the previous Educator of the Year recipients to please stand and let's acknowledge them with a round of applause. Hey, y'all gonna work these arms today, let's go. A list of all these honorees are listed in our Educator of the Year program. In commemoration of our 20th anniversary, a listing will also be featured on our website. So, Charter family, this is a special time. Cheers to 20 years. And this special time requires a special gift. Please stop by the main office for your Timber Creek Regional High School, drum roll please, commemorative wine glass. Ooh, right, it's got 20 years on it, it's amazing. All right, this gift is courtesy of your amazing administrative team. From us to you, have a glass or two, boo. Thank you to Mr. Whalen, his students, and Mr. Arena for their help with this immense project. To make the wine glass even cooler, Mr. Molofsky, in partnership with our 20th Anniversary Committee, organized a 20th Anniversary celebration to take place on Friday, June 3rd at Autumn Lake Winery in Williamstown. Bring your glass, your people, and your Charter spirit from 5 to 8 p.m. A food truck will be available on site, or feel free to bring your own. We have paid to reserve this space. There is no admission for you to attend this event, and you know what I say, if it's for free, it's for me. And in the words of Sir Mix-a-Lot, you ain't got none unless you have fun, hun. Come on, y'all. You know the rest of the song. Anywho, every year, a committee is assembled to select one winner out of a pool of other candidates. Those candidates were selected based on their collaboration with colleagues, relationships with students, and dedication to the profession. At this time, I'd like to honor those nominees with a certificate please come to the front to receive your certificate of appreciation as your name is called. A list of the nominees are also listed in your Educator of the Year program. All right, Ms. Caitlin Wong. Jen Harley, I'm gonna keep going. Ed Augie. Karen Jordana. All right, now, where you at? Make yourself useful and come up here and help me pass these out. Allison Basile. Keith Kozak. Jack McCoo. Kevin Cunio. Paul Yolacqua. Chuck Brenner. The very cool Christine Batiste. Caroline Clements. Where's the best nurse on the planet, Monica Costa? Joe DeBeckis. Thanks, Mr. Moxley. All right, Taylor Swift suggests, no matter what happens in life, be good to people. Being good to people is a wonderful legacy to leave behind. The students walking into our building require the support of a teacher, but foremost, require the courage and the support of a good person. Lindsay Smith fosters care in the lives of each student she has the ability to reach. And those relationships are fostered through her roles as a teacher, a tutor, and an advisor for the sophomore class, Interact Club, and Miss Timber Creek. And through the work with those student groups, she affects lives in the community we serve and those surrounding. That is not only a life's calling, it is an incredible gift. Lindsay Smith, you make the world better for our students, our staff, our families, my kids. And for your advisement, your inspiration, and your leadership. We thank you.
All right, so in true Educator of the Year fashion, we do have a skit for Lindsay. And, you know, it's a solid one. So I was told to not make this the Mark show, but I'm going to be Lindsay for the skit. And, until then, I am going to pass it over to our narrator, Jeff McCoo, while I get ready. So give me one sec.
Now, for so many of us, relaxing is not only important, it's key to our mental well-being. And a lot of us have children who constantly need our attention. So rare is it that we get the opportunity to sit back, dress comfortably, read a good book, have a nice snifter of sipping brandy, and enjoy the story contained therein. And as I continue to stall and buy time. Okay, great. Dear friends, the story that I shall be sharing with you this afternoon is that of Lindsay Smith, Educator of the Year for the year 21-22. Imagine, if you will, it's 6:30 in the morning, and Lindsay is walking into the building with her educational life mate, Mark DeCipio. Being Lindsay means having to keep your composure constantly and trying to please others. It also means that you have trouble saying the word no.
Hey, Schmitty, I can't believe you got the Wordle in 2 tries. You know, was that Phil Collins you were bumping into in the car?
You know how I start my day. So, why is it so freezing today?
Well, maybe it's because you left your jacket in the classroom and you're wearing sandals when it's 40 degrees. So are you ready for today?
And in her head, anger begins to build like a slow rolling boil of water ready for pasta. She keeps repeating, no, I'm not. Of course I'm not. I'm exhausted. I have an interact meeting. I have lit cafe. I have Miss TC practice after school. But in true Lindsay fashion, she's able to stay calm. And she says,
You know it. Just another A day, wherever you went, Mark.
but dear friends, for many of us, we head from the parking lot to our classrooms and we wait for first bell to begin. Not Lindsay. Her day starts in between that period. She has morning supervision. So, we now visit her during that period of time.
Miss Smith, can you believe they gave me rise again? I only threw one sandwich.
No, maybe they didn't see it. Maybe they were just kind
Smitty, can I show you this hilarious meme I found last night?
Wait, is this infected? This.
A mixture of perplexation and ill temper leads to a question mentally shouted into the void. What have I done to deserve this litany of inanity? That is not how she responds, however. Calm, cool, and collected, she says.
Okay. You may have deserved rise. Just make sure you say sorry. I actually posted that meme on my story last night. And yes, you need to go to the nurse right now.
And, as if that weren't enough to start the day, we head towards first bell.
All right, Romeo and Juliet, one of Shakespeare's greatest plays. The first thing you need to do is take out your...
Ring, 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 ring!
Hold on. 825, Miss Smith. Miss Serrano. She did. All right, she's on her way down right now.
A faint vein begins to throb across her forehead. A slight twitch of the eye can be detected. In her head, Lindsay screams, "No! It's only 7:30! How are you in trouble already?" But instead, she mentally has a sip of sipping brandy. And she says,
Emily, Miss Serrano,
She's blowing my stuff!
and once again, she raises a glass and sings in her head, "Get out! Leave! Right now!"
Okay, where was I? Oh, sorry, okay. I need you all to take out your...
Excuse me, Miss Smith. Oh my God, you have a horrible 5 o'clock shadow. anyway, I got the green bench trick.
What about it?
Well, like, they have a golf course here, so I'm going to bring my golf clubs. Is that okay?
Her rage gland begins to throb. Malofsky's hyper-competitiveness really has him asking about a driving range at a theme park. No!
I'm not too sure. Let me just email the contact and see. I'll get back to you, all right?
Good, I'll pay that reason.
Wait. Romeo and Juliet, they're like lovers, right? I know they kiss, but do like they...
No! Why are they so immature sometimes?
All right, fine. So let's take out our folks and we'll get to everything we need to do.
I'll just use my key. Oh, hey, Miss Smith. I know you finalized the ad book last night. So real. I know you finalized Miss DC ad book last night, but I've got a few more requests since then. You think you could reformat and squeeze them in?
If human eyes could fire lasers, Nicole would be on fire right now. She asks the impossible. Deadlines are a thing for a reason. Steam could have poured from her ears, but instead, she responds,
That shouldn't be a problem. I'll just take care of it during lunch. Okay, finally. Let's take out our Chromebooks, head over to the classroom, and open up the Prologue. Any questions? Good. All right, so the first line reads, two households were both alike in dignity.
Wait. What are we going to take out?
At this point, continuing to contain the fury is like choking back a mouthful of vomit. She shouts in her head, no! That's it. The next time I get asked to do something, I'm actually going to say no. But she swallows back that acidic anger, and she responds.
Yeah, of course, I'll repeat the directions for you. Take out your Chromebook, head over to the classroom, and then just open up that Prologue.
Hey, Lynn. I'm sorry for the question. I have 2 front row seats to Taylor Swift tonight. Do you want to come with me?
Gonna do it? No! Wait. I mean, yes.
No. Now, you know what? Actually, let's talk about attitude that you got going on. Enjoy your teacher. Okay. Sure.
In her head, she says, you know what? Saying no is overrated. I'll go back to saying yes. That's a phrase I know all too well.
All right, thanks, Ham. That means a lot. Thanks. Yeah.
Check it out. A little bird just told me to bring you Twilight back. We're going to hold it in the basement and I tried. And I told him you be in for math, history, and English.
Jack Campbell, you rat bastard! No!
And that concludes our All right.
Can you say that after?
No. I don't know how y'all do it. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed the little skit. I would like to now introduce the supervisor of the special ed department, Jess Caffrey. I heard you,
You look gorgeous.
I feel beautiful.
Those real ones, your big ones.
I'm sorry?
Is that real ones, your big ones?
Yes. They do look gorgeous today, don't they? It is my absolute honor and privilege to stand before you in recognition of a truly amazing individual and educator, Lindsay Smith. Her passion for teaching is almost matched by the size of her heart, as you've seen. She's being honored today due to her tireless commitment to the Charter community. She is constantly finding unique ways to support her learners' overall well-being across environments. She's always willing to go above and beyond, not just for her students, but also for anyone in need, as you have just seen. She constantly thinks outside the box, finding new ways to meet individual student learning needs, but also their social and emotional needs and overall well-being. She is a master of her craft. She can modify anything, and I do mean anything. She always finds a way to make connections to real-world experiences so learners understand the practical application of the concepts being taught, even when they ask inappropriate questions about Romeo and Juliet. Somehow, she manages to turn the learning into pure entertainment. After all, it is the Lindsay and Mark show. As an observer, I always leave the room with a smile and often find myself laughing out loud during the observation. There have even been times where I'm so enthralled by the show that I totally forget to take notes. And it's no surprise that you hear kids talking about the class afterwards in the hallways. Sometimes I have to make up her observations. Lindsay is maintaining a dynamic educator who always finds a way to make connections with her chargers each and every day. She maintains these relationships long after they graduate from Timber Creek. Many of her previous learners bring their friends to hang out with Miss Smith during charger time. At the risk of being redundant, Lindsay represents a true Timber Creek charger. She participates in freshman new student orientation. She sits on the spotlight committee. She's the fall and winter sports ticket taker and security guard. She's Miss Timber Creek co-advisor, the Interact Club advisor, a class of 2024 co-advisor, Lit Cafe tutor, and the BHPEA Association representative. As if this isn't enough, you can always find her in her classroom during charter time and after school providing support and reteaching for learners, or even walking the halls first thing in the morning as the early morning supervisor. And believe it or not, she also chooses to continue to work throughout the summer as the summer reading enhancement program teacher. If this didn't convince you that Lindsay deserves this recognition, then you should have been in her classroom immediately following the announcement. The sheer number of people pouring into the classroom when they announced Miss Lindsay Smith on the announcement system is a testament to her title, Educator of the Year 2022. Thank you.
All right, so thank you, Jess, for all the kind words for Lindsay. At this time, I would now like to invite up the superintendent, Dr. Apisa.
First, how about that theatrical narration by Jeff McCool? I mean, that was some performance right there. And it's good slinger jacket weather, Jack, so that's good. First, I'd like to wish our retirees the best that life has to offer in your next endeavors. I wish all of you great happiness and health as you part from our doors. I thank you for all of your efforts and contributions to our organizations and students, for all the countless days of teaching and supporting and guiding over the life of your career in this district. I wish you well, and I thank you for all of your service. I was recently at my children's elementary school working on a community garden project and was approached by another dad. He had very tough skin, of leather, tan, hands with deep cuts and scarred, tough calluses, suggesting a work life outdoors in extreme conditions. Through changes of unbearable heat and bitter and wind-whipped cold, his appearance made sense after he told me that he was a fishing boat captain, that he would be out at sea for days or weeks at a time, sometimes dealing with wealthy travelers who increase their level of obnoxiousness the farther out to sea they get. But immediately after him telling me about his vocation, he added that, quote, "I tried teaching elementary school, but it was way too tough. I don't know how these teachers do it." That sounds about right. To all of our honorees, to all of our nominees, and to our educators during this Educator Appreciation Week, I extend my full appreciation for all of the work that you do. This is a tough career. It's one that requires your all, one that demands your focus, your patience, and perseverance. And despite all of those challenges, you continue to weather the storm and you create the sunshine. You rise each day to put your best effort forward towards a common goal, which is to improve our students' lives, to encourage, to motivate, and to inspire. So I thank all of you for all that you do for our students. Lindsay is a dynamite. She is the kind of teacher that would certainly make me look very bad when I look back at my educational career. But I think for most of us, Lindsay is the kind of person who would do anything. I see her, she's very uncomfortable, by the way. I see her at our work at the Rotary Club in Walsh Township at Pine Hill. And I believe that the internal monologue that you heard earlier today is probably what is going through her head in some of those meetings. So thank you, Lindsay, for all the work that you do in community service in Gloucester Township as well. So I'm very happy for you, Lindsay. Proud that you were part of our district family, and extend my heartfelt gratitude for all your dedication to Timber Creek Regional High School. Congratulations on your being named Timber Creek's Educator of the Year, a very most deserving honor. And on behalf of the school district, I grant you $500 to spend in your classroom at your choosing.
Hey, Mark, what do you want?
I thought it was my turn. I didn't know.
Thank you, everybody. I'd like to call Lindsay up now for our passing. I'm not going to use this one. So this is the passing of our banner. Ms. Simmons was unable to be here, but usually our Educator of the Year last year passes it on to the new Educator of the Year. You're going to get to it. Okay. If you don't want to. I will take one myself. Mark, more decorations.
Oh, yeah, perfect. Highly effective next year.
We have a whole year on board. I'm going to present Lindsay with a check of $250 from Garrison Architects. To invite up Mr. Tom Casey from Jostens. He has something for Lindsay as well.
Good, Lindsay, thank you. I didn't even do anything. On behalf of our local Jostens office, it's my pleasure to present you with this Teacher of the Year ring. Congratulations, and wear it good health.
Thank you so much. Lindsay, now I'm inviting you. Would you like to say any remarks? Sure.
Okay. All right, now I know you're all sitting out there waiting for me to start this thing off with a Taylor Swift lyric, but I'm not going to do that because Mark already did. So today I'm going to start off with a quote from one of my other favorite visionaries, someone who helped pave the way for strong, outspoken, independent women like Taylor Swift. On her 75th birthday, Dolly Parton said, yeah, Dolly, we can't just hope for a brighter day, we have to work for a brighter day. The key words there are hope and work. You can't have one without the other. From a young age, I learned that you can't just hope good things happen for you in life. You have to work hard for those good things. I lived my life surrounded by a family that not only hopes hard, but works even harder. It's just in our blood. I'd like to thank them for instilling in me the importance of both hope and hard work. I'm honored that in addition to my natural family, I found a second home and family here at Timber Creek, and with a supportive administration that further motivates me to continue to both hope hard and work harder. If you didn't know, Dolly Parton started her Imagination Library in her hometown in Tennessee to inspire a love of reading in young children by providing them free books each year for their first 5 years of life. This program has since provided nearly 200 million books to children in 5 different countries. Now, while I'm no Dolly Parton, her mission has always resonated with me. In 805, the land of reading enhancement, every year our students run the gamut of reading abilities and motivation levels. Quite frankly, most of them just hate reading. Over the past 10 years, many of my teaching philosophies have evolved, but one yearly goal has held steady, to get my students to like reading a little more than they do when they walk into 805 in September. Over the last 10 years, I've worked hard to expand our in-class library with current, high-interest books for our students to read. And not to brag, I think we do a pretty good job up there finding a little something for everyone. But reading enhancement is not for the weak of heart, energy, passion, or patience, and would be impossible to tackle alone. Trust me, I did it today for part of the period. Thanks, Mark. I've been blessed with wonderful co-teachers from the English department, and honestly, I need to give them a special shout out for introducing me to my partner in crime, my shadow, my best friend, Mark. Never in a million years did I ever think I'd end up being best friends with a total bro, but here we are. I wouldn't be able to do anything that I do here at Timber Creek without Mark's support and his steadfast belief that, Liz, relax, everything will work out. It also doesn't hurt that he's a Swiftie too. Like most kids, I don't remember learning how to read. However, I do remember always having my nose in a book. I was fortunate enough to grow up 1 block from our township's library, and I basically lived there. I probably wore down the carpet in front of the shelves that housed their collection of American Girl, Babysitter's Club, and Nancy Drew books. And when I wasn't reading, I was surrounded by 2 grandmothers who also loved reading. And beyond reading, they both loved stories. My maternal grandmother, Marie, was a lover of fiction and the celebrity gossip littered on the pages of the National Enquirer. We'd always come up with the life stories of strangers we passed at the park, on the beach, or on the Wildwood Boardwalk. We looked at the shapes in the clouds, made up stories about them too. There was no limit to what we imagined together. My paternal grandmother, Ellen, thoroughly enjoyed reading biographies and memoirs, and also talked to just about anyone who could breathe. She always had a story to tell us, either about a person she actually knew or one she read about in a book. In fact, she always had so many stories to tell that sometimes she wouldn't remember who she told them to, so we all heard her stories multiple times over. The one about her catching my dad on Cinnamon Avenue skipping school will always be one of my favorites. I was raised by the power of storytelling, and to this day, I believe there's something magical about not only getting lost in a story, but also being able to tell a story of your own. As you all know, being an educator is all about the journey of crafting, investigating, and cultivating stories, and I thank each and every one of you for adding to this chapter of my own story that started with a little hope and a lot of hard work. So it seems that I met my 5-paragraph reading enhancement paragraph requirement. So thank you all so much.
Congratulations again, Lindsay. I'd like to thank everyone for joining us today to recognize Miss Lindsay Smith as Timber Creek's Educator of the Year.